to yours, as always. Great to see you. All right, so step out into our so-called Wu Chi posture. And we talked a little bit about that before, but let's take a little closer look here. Make sure that your toes are perfectly straight. You know, they're parallel, like you're standing on railroad tracks, okay? The next thing was to bend your knees. We're gonna bend it just slightly. We don't want to go deeply, especially for those of us who might have knee injuries. We just need to bend the body a little bit, and that promotes the blood's ability to move through the legs. We're gonna move up to the hips. We talked about tucking the hips under the body, okay? And looking at it again from the side, you know, a lot of us have a kind of a sway back, and so we wanna make sure to tuck the hips forward and straighten this lower back, which again kind of opens up and stretches the muscles of the lower back, but also opens up the kidneys a bit and opens up a gate, a major gate we talk about in Chinese medicine called Mingmen, kind of the Golden Gate area. It's a very important place that we need to keep open so that we can have integrity from upper to lower body. And so with those three things in place, that stabilizes the lower body, okay? And then the upper body, what we want to do is feel somewhat light. So the teachers have always told us to lift from the crown of the head, and that allows us to kind of lift the spine up through the body all the way to the top, but we don't want to be stiff. We just want to make sure that we're lifting it and that the head isn't just resting on your neck bones, and that helps to elongate and straighten the spine, okay? And then for now, I want you to place your hands on the side of your legs. We have these nice energy points on the side of our legs, and we're going to place our hands over that, and they're going to create a bit of a seal so we can begin to kind of promote energy within the body without sending it out or wasting it or letting it leak out. Okay, so we're going to hold this position now as we begin the practice and begin to sink into our legs a bit, keep lifted from the head. I'd also like you to remember to curl the tongue or touch the tongue to the upper palate, keep the mouth closed, and begin breathing through the nose. And we'll use a nasal breathing for all of these. And that just helps us to keep the heart rate down. It helps us to keep the blood pressure down while we do the exercises so we don't stress the heart especially. And then again, we want to talk a little bit about that lower diaphragmatic breathing. So we want to talk about breathing down into the lower belly. There's a place inside the body here where the Chinese call it the dantian. It means elixir field. And they say that it's about 2 or 3 inches below the navel. So if your navel's here, we have an energy center here. And the Chinese always held that we wanted to breathe in the direction of this energy center with the idea that we can boost and fill the qi. Okay, so we're going to use this lower diaphragmatic breathing. And one way my teacher used to talk about this was to imagine that you have a balloon in the lower belly, and then you have a glass tube on the top of that balloon, and it goes up to the back of your nose. And every time you inhale, you imagine that the air is coming through that glass tube and going down into the belly and filling up that balloon. So we're going to practice that lower diaphragmatic breathing we talked about. And so you inhale and it fills up, and then as you exhale, it slowly contracts and pushes the air out. Now, one extra thing you can add to this is you can add that you can imagine that the air around you is filled with gold and silver threads. And the gold and silver threads will represent yin and yang qi. Okay, so we're going to imagine that there's yin and yang qi in the air around us, and we're going to breathe that through the nose, down the tube, and into the balloon. And when the threads get down to the dantian, they'll start swirling around. As you exhale, those gold and silver threads are going to turn into steam. And then as you exhale, the steam comes out of the tube and out of your nose and dissipates into the air around you. So we're going to take several minutes to practice standing and breathing into the lower dantian. On your side, it'd be a good idea maybe if you had some soft music in your environment to help you kind of relax and keep the temperament of the exercise. I just didn't think it would be too smart to do it on my side because then we have this noise in the background. So please feel free to choose a relaxing and calm music when you come to the practice. And it really seems to help us calm down and relax our minds and, just get us into the mood. So you're breathing deeply down into the lower dantian, seeing that balloon expand and fill with qi. And then as you exhale, seeing that energy coming back out of your nose and in the form of steam and evaporating in the air around you. And then from here, we're going to open into our Wu Chi posture, our classic Wu Chi, which then tells us to open up the arms here on the side so that we can promote blood flow down to arms. Kind of opens up the heart meridian there and kind of stretches out the lung meridian also a little bit. The heart meridian kind of terminates down from your to your pinky, and your lung meridian goes down to your thumb. And so those two meridians travel through the arm, and heart one is directly under the armpit. Right in the pit of the armpit is heart one. And so it's known that as we stand around, we want to keep that section open so that we get good blood flow and get good access to heart one, and we're not closing things up. Okay? So we're going to expand the arms out, but as we do this, it's important to keep the shoulders relaxed. So again, the head is lifted, the shoulders are relaxed, your spine is straightened, hips are tucked under the body, the knees are slightly bent, and the toes are straight. And it's very common in traditional practices to have to stand like this for at least 15 minutes to an hour every single practice, every single day. We're not going to hang out here that long. We only have some amount of time, but, and we can get into that a little bit later, but for now, we're going to just work on kind of just getting our body ready and getting in its shape to be able to do Tai Chi and Qigong effectively. And that's a lot of what this Wu Chi is all about. In addition, the Wu Chi posture also kind of helps us kind of dissolve some of our blockages by using gravity. You know, gravity is always kind of pushing down on everything, pushing it towards the earth. And if we're allowing ourselves to settle here long enough, gravity can assist us in kind of pushing down some of those blockages through the body and helping us smooth things out. And so again, we could spend a lot of time just doing standing meditation, not moving around at all, but just simply standing there. And I have to say that standing meditation is probably the most important thing I've ever learned in all of this. So I really encourage people to begin to study standing meditation, begin to understand it, and then get good guidance. You know, a great teacher who can teach you how to stand properly is your greatest friend, is your greatest tool. And so if you can find somebody in your area that knows how to practice these things well, then I encourage you to talk to them about standing meditation. It has so many incredible benefits. If you don't have anybody to talk to, then we'll go through it slowly here. And just make sure that you abide by the principles as much as possible, and that will help us to reduce injury and to help us to be prosperous in the standing meditation so that we actually get stronger and healthier by doing it. All right, we're going to move along, and we're going to start the first swing, which is this movement that I like to use by swinging the arms back and forth. Okay? So we inhale, the hands come forward and the palms are facing forward. And then we exhale, the palms go behind us. And we're going to practice several of these exercises. Feel free to drop out whenever you need to. If your fitness level isn't that high, then just only work it until you're feeling pretty good, and then go ahead and take a rest. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would recommend it. Inhale forward, exhale back. And now we're going to start shifting the weight forward and back as we do this. So inhale to the front ball of the foot, exhale back to the heel, and continue. Inhale forward, exhale back. And all the while, we're trying to keep all of those alignments in place. So we're kind of wobbling a little bit. And wobbling over time helps us to find central equilibrium. It not only does that, but there's certain reflexology and acupressure we can get on the bottom of the foot. For instance, the kidney 1 point is on the front ball of your foot. And so every time you shift your weight forward and put a little weight on that point, energy is stimulated inside the body. Major point. Inhale forward, exhale back. Okay, so those are the first couple of, there's the first swing there. All right, and then after we do that for a moment, then we're going to stand here and just kind of feel for a moment in our Wu Qi how this is beginning to feel in the body. And then we're going to start another series of swings. So now we're going to swing from left to right a little bit here. So we're going to start with a very basic swing. And the most important thing here is to keep your legs nice and stable and to let your body relax on the upper part. Make sure that you keep your head lifted so that the spine is elongated while we do this exercise. So we're not grinding our discs and our bones in the spine. Okay? So keep the head lifted. Remember, not too stiff, just keep it up there. And keep the legs stable. And so just first swing just kind of allows us to kind of get used to what it's like to even swing at all. And begin to see if you can feel the upper body as relaxed as possible. And so you're just kind of swaying back and forth. This shouldn't be too forceful or anything. All right, after you do that for a while, and of course in your own time you can do these as long as you want, then we're going to, if you want, make a light fist, a very light fist, and we can use this to tap the body. Okay, so we can tap the lower body as we turn, and I want you to notice that I'm not shifting back and forth right now. There's no shifting at all. I'm keeping my weight evenly on both legs, keeping the legs stable, doing my best not to twist my knees, okay? And just feeling this happen more on the upper part of my body. And then we're going to add this percussion to stimulate the dantian here in the lower belly. We could also use this, of course, to kind of tap on the lower organs, you know, liver and gallbladder, stomach, spleen, pancreas, and all of that good stuff that we have inside there. And if you don't know what your organs are inside your body, I suggest you look it up. You know, it's good to know where your organs are inside your body. Some of us know where some of the most exotic places in the world, but do you know where your pancreas is? So let's, let's make an effort towards the body. And that's one of the things, most important things we have to do. We have to give it that kind of intention. All right, you can also now tap the upper part of your body. And you know, you could use an open hand. So you can do that too. The backhand as it does this, see, you can tap the kidneys in the lower back. So again, you know, here's sway back, keep your hips tucked under the body, see, and now you can kind of tap over the kidneys, tap a little bit over the Mingmen while you're turning. Okay, so there's lots of massage here. You know, massage is one of the most important exercises we have for humanity. All right. And then we're going to go to a third one where we begin to swing the arms in a much greater way. Okay, so you inhale up, exhale turn, inhale up, exhale turn. And again, we want to keep the legs very stable. So we don't want to see this kind of thing happening where the legs turn and the knees collapse and buckle. We want to keep the knees as straightened and with as much integrity as possible. So that way we don't injure them. And again, so now the exercises are happening in the spine and the upper body more. We're swinging the arms. That's going to relax the shoulders. Some of you might actually feel some of the